The stream is live, it says. Is the music playing?
Can't you hear it?
Nope, that's one I can't never hear. That's right. Okay, you're bopping your head. That means it's playing. Shit, look at them guns, baby.
Yes.
You got to get them pumped up for the big trip next week. With the guys, you got to be the king.
I know. It's late. We usually go way earlier. Then September, it's going to be freezing. We go camping.
Uh-huh.
We usually go tubing down the river. High is only supposed to be 69 degrees. So going to get down to like 49 at night. It's going to be horrible.
Shit. Well, nice to sleep out with you got a blanket on and stuff.
I'll need more than a blanket.
No.
Probably. I'm going to cut this off. Had to get blood yesterday and today. Yesterday, I got tested for 4 crazy viruses, and today I got blood drawn for 73 different blood markers. They're testing me for 73 different things. I don't know. We'll see.
Wow. I probably got all this stuff wrong with me, but I just don't even know because I don't go to the doctor. So,
yeah, I don't go to the doctor anymore. I go to functional medicine.
oh, okay.
Functional. I guess they're still kind of doctor-ish, but all right. Who do we got in here today? Main thing is 70QQ said the audio and video is good.
Okay, that's wonderful.
Pinion Haber was in. Sorry I missed my check-in last week, boys. Rip was right about all his guests as to what I was up to. I don't remember. What'd you say he was up to?
Who was up to?
Opinion Haber. What'd you say he was up to?
Oh, he's probably doing some kind of sexual shenanigans and stuff. Probably borderline, just inquiring with women, but you can't say nothing because it might be too risque or whatever, or to even think of anything. But I was thinking about the opinion haver. I remember seeing him dressed up one time. I can't remember what it was, but I think he had the girl's wig on, some lipstick, and he was rather attractive anyway. So, you know how it is.
No, I don't really.
Well, just imagine it.
Huh.
Two people, opinion and haver.
Frank's Pickle Barrel Ass in the house today.
Well, shit, that's awesome.
Tom Montgomery. Good Friday. Billy Ray Dollar. Italian in the house. George Jetson in the house from outer space. 70QQ. Shawnee and G. Manny the Weasel. Valverde. T Weasel. Wishing all my freaks out there a safe holiday weekend. Shane Parks in green from Roseburg, Oregon. Puzzy Monster in the house. Bull digging. Still don't have that thing sent to Bull digging. Somebody needs to remind me. Bull digging, send me another email. Well, don't send it now because I'm leaving town for the holiday weekend, but send it to me like on Tuesday of next week. It'd be great. If you send me the email Tuesday of next week, then I can get it figured out. Pot Ripper, Poe Tripper Jr. going to start us off with a little $2 super chat. Good morning, Trooper and Moondog Rip. I like it.
Yeah. Moondog. Well, the original Moondog was Ronnie Moondog Maine, and he had the blonde hair, and he had a beard just like me. So that's what I look just like Lonnie Moondog Maine.
You missed your calling as a Moondog Rip.
I did, didn't I? Uh-huh. I missed a lot of callings.
What else we got? Screaming Baboon just joined. In green, he's in the house.
Oh, he's probably been up training. He's been training all night.
We got a special guest joining us sometime today here, Mad Man Pondo, Rip. Tell us a little bit about the Mad Man.
Well, Mad Man Pondo, I've known him for, golly, a whole lot of years, put it that way. And at one time, he was running in, he would work in Jeffersonville. This is when we had the first two OVW schools we had. They were in Jeffersonville, so there was a whole lot of different promotions running in Jeffersonville, which is right across the river. You go from Louisville to Jeffersonville, so they had like 3 or 4 different promotions running in a certain area. So there was a lot of competition there. One was Pepsi, one was Coke, one was RC, and one was generic double cola. So uh, you got wrestling promotions with different styles. He's a death match expert. He loves. I love wrestling in a certain way. You love wrestling in a certain way, and he loves wrestling in a certain way. But it's just like being football, basketball, baseball coach? Do you throw the fastball to set up the curve? Do you throw, or vice versa? Do you set up the run to set up the pass, or do you shoot from the threes to set up inside? It's just different philosophies of playing the same sport. So he liked his death match stuff, which was which was blood and guts, and I wanted to stay away from as much blood as guts as possible. As I wanted to get in, get out, and try not to get hurt.
Hmm. Let's see what else we got in here. Thanks for the super chat there, Po Tripper, Pot Ripper. Were there any wrestlers that were cross dressers, Rip?
Oh, let me see. Well, remember when Tony Falk was Boy Tony?
Mm, that was gimmick, though.
Yeah. Well, oh, really?
Or was it not gimmick? Tell us.
No, no, Tony's was gimmick. But I knew Ripper Collins. He would go to the drag shows and stuff and dance and perform. I went and saw him in Nashville in '78. Him and Whipper Billy Watson Jr. He was doing singing "Let Me Entertain You," and he was acknowledged a man who liked man, and he liked to cross dress and give a hell of a performance. So he was over with me. Oh, when I go shake his hand, he'd grab my hand, pull it in, and he'd suck on my thumb.
Ooh, lovely.
Yeah. So that no matter what, I had a middle-aged blonde older man, but he was getting a reaction out of me. I guess if somebody sucks on your thumb, I guess something reacts downstairs no matter what. So I said, that's enough of that. As he was ribbing me.
Looks like Pot Ripper Jr. is a poker player. He told Manny he got 9th in the World Series of Poker circuit.
Holy shit! Oh, what a
We got
rival! Let's stir the pot. Who's
we got
the
a
best
new
poker
poker
player?
king in the house. How much
Yeah.
money did you make on that there, Po Tripper? What did 9th place pay? Manny wants to know if he's going to play in New Albany next month. Po Tripper said no. I have a busy September in California. We'll probably play
Ooh.
Thunder Valley or somewhere close to me.
Wow.
Manny, you're number 2 in the
I guess.
poker.
Yeah, the Weasel was big stuff when he first come on here, since he's the king of Austin, he's the king of Scottsburg and stuff like that, and probably in the top 25 in Seymour. That's if the Seymour Cyclones not playing. So Manny's stocks went down. So he's going
I
to
think
have to get some.
he sent me a picture of him and the Seymour Cyclone the other day, I think, if I remember correctly. I think he told me to send it to you. I'm like, I don't know why you just don't send it to Rip. Why do you have to send it to me to send to Rip? He's got your number, doesn't he? He's got your messenger on Facebook. He can send it to you.
Well, he'll start stuttering.
Well, it's just click a picture. He doesn't have to.
Well, Manny's not.
Nelson Royal, Shane Parks in Green says, ever wrestle Nelson Royal?
No, I was on a lot of cards with him at one time. He was the NWA junior heavyweight champion of the world, and he was that for a year. And Nelly was a hell of a worker. He was just a hard worker, and he didn't have a very good interview, and that held him down. But he was a great wrestler in that ring.
Screaming Baboon, a $2 super chat. Ripper Collins would really rip you with that thing.
Well, he'd like to, but he's going to have to get in line, and he'd have to pay out some special jingle to do that too. you know, when I was with when I was seeing Ripper, I was young, shaved, tan, and vascular, with my big, tall black afro with the afro pick in it, my Carlin Hildegard stuff, looking way, way, way above average. So, and Ripper was a middle-aged guy with bleach blonde hair, and he was going to have to earn my trust with serious dinero. He couldn't buy me, but he could rent me.
All right. Thank you, Screaming Baboon. Big George in the house. He said, did Rip say he was ribbing him or rimming him?
Well, no, I was ribbing him, George, rimming him. That's the stuff you told me that you always did. I've
Mm.
never, and on the rimmers, I'm a great one with a female, but you lead the league in rimming with the males. So there's two guys, you and Ben Masters are the leaders in that of rimming young, middle aged, and older men. Thank you very much.
Talyon wants to know if you ever sold a belt because a promoter owed you money.
No, what happened? See, years ago, uh, it's like when I was at Puerto Rico, I'd have to pick up all the belts. They'd afraid guys would do that, so I'd have to take all the belts and then I had to put them in a big old bag and carry them back and uh, take it to the ring the ring truck. Those guys would actually do that because the belts were worth a lot of money, and people would pay a lot of money for that stuff. So if anybody would get stuck on a payoff in a lot of territories, that's what they do. They'd take a belt and sell it. So then the territories finally started smartening up, and they had a guy in charge of taking care of all the belts. But yes, if you want to make some money, and nothing like having the original Mid America Championship belt or the United States Tag Team Championship belts of the old ICW or whatever, that could get you big money, baby.
Shane Parks in Green wants to know, did you ever wrestle Alpha or Sika?
No, we was I was always a heel pretty much, and they was always a heel. Now, like in Pensacola, I remember when they lived there in Pensacola, and the youngest one got worked for Fuller's, and he was like, they said he was like 18, the Tonga Kid. That's what he was then, Tonga Kid, and he was one of the Anoyas. And the dads were always training and hanging out in Pensacola at the beach and stuff, but they weren't actually worked in the territory.
Po Tripper Jr. said he only won $1,000 for ninth place. I would take $1,000 for ninth place.
Yeah, that'll buy you a lot of beers. That'll buy you a lot of good food and a whole lot of fat women. So it don't get any better than that.
But then he said Manny is the Hold'em King in this chat. Ooh.
Is that is that a that must be the weasel specialty?
Question.
I know he likes certain kind of women. He likes certain kind of things to drink. His food's got to be absolutely perfect, just like his workouts, and he has to have that perfect haircut too. So the weasel's he's a champion. The weasel is because he's a perfectionist. I didn't want to put him over, but I will a little bit.
Andrew Sanchez in Green says, what promoters paid nightly and what promoters paid weekly, and which did you prefer?
Oh, you always like to get the ones that paid nightly because then you always had uh, money with you. I remember Chris Colt would be taking a draw all the time, and then he tried to get another draw, and Roy Lee Welch told him in Southeastern, he said, "You've drawn up more than you've made already." But like in Portland, like Don Owens would pay you in Portland cash that night, then you get a check for the rest of the stuffs that Don had, but Elton would pay you cash in every Salem, Eugene, Roseburg, Medford, the towns that and Salem, the towns that Elton run. He would pay you every night in cash, so you always had cash. And then Don Owens would pay you uh, by check if you worked in Seattle, some Washington towns. But in Portland, that was the easiest way. But all the other places, you get a check every week, every 2 weeks, or whatever. But you could always get a draw if you needed money.
Did you see the new allegations against Vince McMahon, Rip?
No,
I briefly read them today. I think it was a former WWE writer came out on some podcast and said that. So her name Ashley Mazzaro. Do you remember her? She committed
Oh yeah,
suicide.
that's the girl that committed suicide. Yeah.
Supposedly on a flight to somewhere. Rip. Vince started sexually doing stuff with her. And then when they landed somewhere, either coming back or getting there, he made everybody get off the plane, and he supposedly had sexual encounters with her on the plane while everybody stood outside the plane and watched and waited.
Oh well, I guess. Wow. Well, Vince continues to amaze me. Uh, I guess with money, you get power, and when everybody's scared to fight you, where you, you do as the boss say in the entertainment business, or not, or get another job.
Yeah. Well, she was the one that said she was sexually assaulted overseas or what, or when they did the
Uh huh.
tribute to the troops or whatever, and it apparently went on deaf ears was the story.
Well,
But yeah, she was the one that committed suicide. So
wow.
I'm sure there'll be more coming out on that. I just saw like a snippet somebody had posted on on Facebook about it. So
But that's an old story. Every once in a while, it'll resurface and
the
stuff.
Vince one, I don't ever remember the Vince one.
Well, that was why she took her own life.
No, I thought it was because of the troops. Well, nobody I don't think knows, but the troop one that when she supposedly got raped when she was doing the troop show, not by Vince, by
Oh, see, I always thought Vince was just doing whatever with her, and that was his target. He's the boss. He
oh I
determines
don't.
he determines your future. So maybe I had it all wrong. I can't imagine the soldiers doing that. Jesus Christ, that
This
must
is
have been.
this just came out like today. Yes, or wait, hold on. Former, maybe not today. Oh, this says August 2nd, so maybe not today, but
Well, this happened how many years ago?
well, yeah, it happened a long time ago, but this is the first time I've ever heard this story.
Okay, well, how long has she been not of this earth anymore?
2019.
Okay, so that's 6 years, 5 years ago.
Yeah, I understand that, but that doesn't mean every story about her is out yet.
Oh,
Like you
oh,
could
so
die right now. We may hear a new story about you that happened 20 years ago that you were had a gay love affair with somebody, but that doesn't mean just because you're dead doesn't in it. I mean, that doesn't matter. You
well,
think we know every story about you when I mean,
well, in other words, somebody else is telling a story, but it didn't happen to them, so they don't know. And
well,
everybody,
they said they were there. They said they were on the plane. Yeah, it's a former WWE writer, one of their writers, who says he was there on the plane when it all
well, who
happened.
was it?
I didn't know the guy. It's Dan Saint Germain, Germain.
I bet he ain't with the company no more.
Well, he's former writer.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this, I mean, yes, no, it didn't just happen, obviously,
Yeah.
but it's a new story that I've not heard. 2007 was the sexual assault story from Tribute to the Troops.
Oh, okay.
I was an extra once, and we were going from. So when you were an extra, even though SmackDown and Raw were split,
Mm-hmm.
like Raw was on Monday night and then SmackDown was on Tuesday,
Yeah.
most of the extras then would go from Raw to SmackDown. So we were getting done in Indianapolis at like 11:30, midnight, whatever it was,
Uh huh.
on Monday, and then we were supposed to be at the building in I think it was Dayton or Columbus, Ohio,
Mm-hmm.
at noon on Tuesday.
Yeah.
Well, so then you had to, drive 3 hours, get in at 3, find somewhere to stay and sleep for a few hours or whatever. I think we ended up staying at oh no, we were going to Cleveland because it was who was the guy oh gosh, he was a real good wrestler. Came to OVW. He was like the same age as like Nemeth and Miz. He actually took my first match against
Mm.
Gene Snitsky. Oh my God, you would know him if you saw him. He always wore like red, white, and blue, like a Kurt Angle. He was an amateur wrestler. Shit. Anyway,
No, it'll hit you when you're
we
not.
were going, we
Uh,
were riding together,
okay.
and Ashley Mazzaro asked if she could ride with us. Apparently, she didn't have a ride, or well, most of them going from Raw didn't go to SmackDown. Most of the people were either
Yeah.
on Raw or SmackDown. So most of them,
Right.
they were done, like with their loop or whatever. They would
Yeah.
be
You
done.
guys. Yeah. You guys. The enhancement. You get a 2-day run out of it, right?
Yes, then we had to go to the next one. So
Right.
she, for whatever reason, probably because she was just getting started and was one of the divas, and they were still focusing on the divas at that time. She had to go. The diva search. She was a diva search person.
Okay.
Had to go. So I was like, oh yes, this is awesome. Like she's riding with us. I thought it was cool as shit, right? And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, it was Matt and Jeff Hardy said they had to go. So she ditched us in about 2 seconds and said, "Oh, I'm gonna go ahead and ride with the Hardy Boys instead."
Well,
Bastard.
no shit. That could have been a turning point in your life.
Could have. Anyway, that's my long drawn out story.
But that's a cool story, and it shows you how they used to do the television on the 2-day thing. So when they get enhancement guys to come in as extras and stuff, uh, you guys get the 2-day thing, this and that, the buffets and stuff like that, and you got to live and really be on the road, which was cooler than shit.
Yeah, it was fun. I liked it. Let's see. Oh, Mad Man Pondo expected in 8 minutes. I never heard back from Taylor Hendricks, Rip. Have you heard anything from Taylor Hendricks lately?
No,
Taylor, if you're watching the show by chance, message me back. Let's get you on the show.
maybe she's real busy or something.
Mac Johnson, he plugged, he was, we plugged him the other day, and he said he was going to come on. He's still kayfabing me, so he's not been on. But we are in the talks. I was in a chat yesterday with a former, I believe, a WWE former world champion, that said he would like to come on the show. So we'll see. Hopefully we make that happen before too long. I don't want to throw out another name that doesn't end up coming on here, but in the works for a former WWE world champion to be right here on Wrestling with Rip Rogers. Ask Rip Rogers Live. Hopefully it happens. While Rip is gone to black too, we will go ahead and make the announcement. Next week, it appears there will be no show. If there would be, it would be Thursday night, which I don't see happening. But there will definitely be no Friday show. I will be gone. I will be out of town for the weekend, starting Friday morning. So I won't be anywhere around next week. And Rip doesn't know how to do this stuff on his own. So next week, more than likely, no show unless it's Thursday night. But I would say no show. JMC says Ashley dated Matt, I think. I think you're right. It probably started that night. Who knows? What else we got? Any other questions, which obviously Rip's not here. Hopefully he gets back to talk to Mad Man Pondo. I had told Rip you guys would probably ask about the whole Raja Jackson thing, and I haven't had one comment I haven't seen in the comments about Raja Jackson and that whole incident with Psycho Stu, I think was his name. We haven't had one comment in there about it. I told Rip, make sure he watch some of those clips and be ready to, talk about it. he's not on, and nobody's asked. I thought it was a crazy incident with the Roger Jackson thing. I think there was blame everywhere. Should have never been in the ring, and in the first place. And then for sure, it was stupid, in my opinion, what he did. No matter if he was smartened up or not, you shouldn't probably punch somebody 23 times while they're unconscious. But why he was ever put in that spot in the first place, I think that's pretty stupid. Sit on the board, baby. I get it, man. He doesn't care. He wants to talk classic wrestling, not that new stupid shit. I totally agree. Totally agree with that. Yeah, I don't know. Has anybody seen? I haven't seen if he was actually arrested yet or not. I haven't seen. I saw where they told him not to talk to the cops or whatever. So I don't know how that works. Rip has totally disappeared. I have no idea where he's at right now. It's good rib. Good rib, Rip.
Oh well, that was Pondo. He ain't got no link.
I got it now.
Yeah.
I got the link now. I got the link.
Okay.
I texted him a link.
Well, he's on here.
Unless you gave me the wrong number.
No. I was looking under Rip stuff. I didn't look under yours. I totally apologize.
All right. Well,
I was sitting there waiting.
now you're both on.
What's up, guys? You guys doing okay?
Yeah, yourself?
Man, I'm on my way back from Gatlinburg, Tennessee. I went and did all the some of the attractions yesterday.
Oh. Like the like what is that? Like the Pigeon Forge and that kind of stuff?
Yeah, Pigeon Forge and Gatlinburg. I did Hogan's Beach Shop. I know Rip loves that. I did the mountain racing shit. I did a haunted house, and I did that sky bridge that has a glass bottom.
Well, the main thing's your ass is on here now.
My butt is on here.
Hogan's Beach House. I didn't get that thing. I didn't know I had a Hogan's Beach House in Pigeon Forge or whatever it was.
It's only like 2 or 3 months old.
Oh, okay.
So I did want to say, I know Rip said no wrestling, but
no wrestling.
Rip, do you remember how me and you got to know each other so well?
Well, we was probably fighting over some fat girl.
No.
Some
Howard Brackney. You remember Howard Brackney?
Oh, Howard, yeah.
Well, I mean, we had wrestled with each other at Bud Chapman's shows, but we got to know each other better at Howard Brackney's shows.
Yeah.
And Howard Brackney one time invited me to go to Florida to wrestle for UWF, the Herb Abrams company.
Yeah.
And so we had 15 hours to drive, but at that Eagle's Nest, there was a traffic jam because some semi hit a bear. So we had 18 hours to drive, and nobody told me nothing. When I got to the lobby, Bruno Sammartino and Captain Lou Albano bought me and Howard our breakfast, and they wanted to talk to me about all these angles and all this stuff. And I was only 2 years in the business. I'm freaking out. Why do they want to talk to me? Come to find out, I already told him I could do all these moonsaults and crazy things. He lied to him because he needed a ride, and I had a 87 Thunderbird that was cheap on gas. But he forgot to tell me that he told that lie.
Well, he didn't think nothing would come of it. He was just wanting to get on the card.
Yeah, and of course my match was the shits, and he's got him believing that. I mean, the craps. Sorry, and he's got them believing that I'm this special thing, and then afterwards I was on 3 UWF shows and they took me off of the other 2 after that.
Well, at least you got 3 of them.
No, I got one out of the 3, but at least I got the one, right?
Well, hell, you did it. Now you got a story forever.
Ever.
That's like when you're doing that Jugalo stuff.
That juggalo stuff, yeah. I'm still doing that. I'm still doing that today.
Well, shit, you got a hell of a run with that then, didn't you?
I'm still going, man. 56, still landing in light tubes, barbed wire, glass, everything that makes Jim Cornette go crazy.
Well,
and Rip Rogers used to until now.
Yeah, well, Jimmy's a traditionalist. You know, it's just like I'm not a lucha guy, but I tried to go there, and Victor Quinones kayfabed me after I went to Japan and Korea for him. He was supposed to get booked in Mexico, then he kayfabed me, so he got me.
Well, Rip came to watch me wrestle in Indianapolis, and I was doing that stuff like 2 years ago or something like that. Yeah. You remember that, Rip? You came and watched me wrestle, and I was bloody every night, 2 nights in a row.
I remember going to one, I think. A lot of times I go to matches. I watch the matches. I was just watching the women, you know. Or the attractive young boys, one or the other, whichever I could, whichever fit for the night.
Young boys.
Of age, of course. When he says young, he means of age.
Yeah, but borderline, but over the legal limit.
I hear you.
Yeah, you are allowed to swear on this show. You can cuss. Feel free. Shane Parks has a $5 super chat for you. Who are some of your heroes in wrestling, and did you get to meet them? Shane wants to know.
I did. Well, of course, I'm one of the lucky few that got to see Bruiser Brody wrestle a lot. Like, I lived in Flora, Illinois, and St. Louis, Missouri was only an hour and a half, hour and 45 from me. And there was a company out of St. Louis called Wrestling at the Chase. And Bruiser Brody was there a lot. And then I got to go to he because he lived in Missouri, he would do independent shows all the time. I got to see Bruiser Brody versus John Nord, which became the Barbarian in WWE. I got to see Bruiser Brody versus Abdullah the Butcher twice. You know, so Bruiser Brody was pretty big influence on me wanting to get into the business. You get all these guys today talking about how much they love Bruiser Brody, but they ain't never seen him live. You know, well, I saw him live a lot. That was a big hero of mine. And then Sergeant Slaughter, not so much his WWE run, which was fabulous for him, but back in AWA when Sergeant Slaughter was doing boot, Army boot matches and all, taking on Colonel De Beers and the Russians and all that. You know, I was a big Sergeant Slaughter fan back in the day. I mean, just too many to really mention. Bam Bam Bigelow, I thought he was for a big guy. You know, he gave all big guys hope. Of course, big guys would get in the ring and their hope would die because they couldn't be Bam Bam Bigelow. But there was what other heroes? I always loved Hollywood John Tatum. I thought he was one of the best heels in the business. I still to this day. Moon of Vashon. I'm sorry.
I called John Tatum. We called him Frank Freebird.
Yeah, might as well be.
Yeah,
but
Rip, did you wrestle Brody at the Chase? Where were you at with Brody?
No, I was. I worked him 4 weeks in a row in Kansas City, and then I was just at the Cauliflower Alley Club last week, and I was talking a lot with his Bruiser Brody's wife because she's
Barbara. I would love to meet someday.
And Brody was good. He drew money. That's all. He was his own man. He did his own thing.
He did.
Uh, and he was quite successful at it. So you can't knock success.
Yeah.
We've got another question for you there, Mad Man. It says, what was your best Doug Gilbert story?
So I know what this guy wants to know, but for King of the Death matches, we had a barbed wire pit outside. It was a Caribbean barbed wire pit where there was a box with four legs, and the barbed wire net was made on the top of it, and there was no ropes. We didn't have any ropes for the match, and Doug Gilbert pulled me over to the edge, and he goes, "Suplex off the ring through that," and I was like, "Yeah." And I'm thinking, I cannot believe Doug Gilbert's getting ready to take this bump, which I took those all the time. It didn't matter to me. So Doug Gilbert suplexed me, and he stayed on the ring, and I went through the net. And then when I landed, I was like, "Oh, this is what he meant."
Yeah.
So, but,
That was a good rib. He got you, didn't he?
I mean, I was young, dumb, and full of everything, and it's just something that you learn after a while. Oh, okay, this could happen, but I don't hate him for it. I knew that him going into the tournament, he wasn't into landing and stuff like that. But hey, no matter. Doug Gilbert is cool with me.
Yeah,
That's funny.
he's all right, and he's really smart, just like his brother was and his dad.
That's
And
it.
his dad was just a great worker. Tommy Gilbert was. He was fantastic.
I was lucky enough to get my picture taken with Terry Funk, Dory Funk, Tommy Gilbert, and Doug Gilbert. So I feel very fortunate.
That's awesome. Big George wants to know, have you ever done anything in the ring that you regretted?
Getting in the ring. No, I'm just joking. No, wrestling's been really good to me. But yeah, I got this broad idea one time. I wanted to be remembered at this deathmatch tournament. So I took a Death Valley driver onto a bed of number 2 sharpened pencils. And for 6 days after that, it poisoned my body. And I was in total agony for a really long time. So I was in agony for 6 days, to tell you the truth. So, yeah, that was my biggest regret in professional wrestling. I will never do that again. Even when I use a pencil today, I make sure that it's not going to poke me somehow.
I mean, yeah, me personally, I don't know how you do any of that shit. I don't know how. I mean,
Well,
okay, walk us through it a little bit. Like, what's the mindset? You get numb to it. It has to. Did it never hurt you at all? Like, even from the start? Like, I don't even really get it myself. But
well,
I couldn't do it.
when you're in there and the adrenaline's going, I know that sounds really crazy,
No, I
but
get it. Yeah.
the crowd's cheering for you. Not only that, I am probably the most luckiest guy with special needs you'll ever meet. So that I've always had that on my side. So I was always out to make sure that people remembered who I was before I left. So yeah, it was just a mindset thing of not everybody can do this, but that keeps me in a job for 36 years. I get guys, I show up at shows and I got guys afraid to get into the ring with me. But then after they meet me, they realize, okay, he's just a normal guy. So, yeah, man, like the mindset is stupidly, what's the word I'm looking for? Stupidly, just wanting to keep moving forward. I always wanted to, be remembered after I passed away. So I think the more crazy things I do, that somebody's going to remember me out there.
Yeah. I mean, that makes sense.
I was from the thing, get in, get out, don't get hurt, live to wrestle another match.
And
Because it can
I
end
can't
just
tell
like
you how
that.
many times you said that sentence to me. You really did. You said that sentence to me a couple of times, but for some reason, uh, of course, Rip Rogers, he was already known, and I wanted to get my name known. And back in the day, our social, like today, you
Right.
could you could you could type in your computer, I want to see Batista get hit with a fish over the head, and AI will show it to you. But back in the day, our social media was either the magazines or tape trading,
Yep.
and there was not going to be any pictures of Kevin Kennedy in the wrestling magazine, so I had to become Madman Pondo, where people would start knowing who I was, and then once I started making the magazines, I started getting booked other states, and so yeah, that's a lot why the deathmatch scene hit me, and I just been doing it ever since.
It's wild. Rip, your buddy, Screaming Baboon, says that you called Brody an effing Mark. Tell Pondo that story. Is that true, Rip?
Uh,
He's your
and
guy,
pro-
Baboon. He surely ain't lying.
no, he ain't lying. We was in a we worked a 20-minute match, and he just ate me up the whole time. Wouldn't even register, right? So I come in. I said, I thought you were smart. He goes, what do you mean? I said, you're about 6'8" or whatever with the gimmick boots on. Here I am at 5'10" and a half in my prime of life before my legs have bent and shit. And I said, you beat me up for 20 minutes and you couldn't even beat me. You look weak as hell and you made me look strong as hell. What the
Right.
hell's the matter with you? I thought you was smart.
Yeah.
And he just stared at me, right? Because he was fucked up on, he'd been drinking or smoking dope all before the matches and everything. He pretty much did what he wanted to. So we ended up working 4 weeks in a row. And the second week, I started on the first tie up. I shoved him off, and he went to a knee and backed away and looked around. I said, "Don't go overboard, motherfucker! You fucking Mark! Don't rib me."
Okay.
Then he just sort of chuckled, and it was okay. Uh, but no, he was a wrestling machine. He was great, and he knew how to draw money.
Well, uh, actually, Rip kind of taught me this, but you can you can go out there and have a jobber match and beat the guy in 5 minutes, but actually, who are you beating? You know, if your match is 50-50, that's way more exciting to a crowd than if you're just going. I mean, if you're the Road Warriors or Brody, yeah, I get it. Okay. Beat your opponent for 5 minutes and then pin them. But uh, yeah, your entrance into the ring gets a pop, and then your finish gets a pop. But that stuff in the middle, everybody's just like, well, all he's doing is beating that guy up. Uh, if you give them 50-50, if you let them beat you up a little bit and then you beat them up, then all of a sudden you beat somebody, and then it's I think that helps the match along. But kids today, man, they're just like, well, I can't go under, or I need to do all my moves that I know and every textbook that I've ever learned, and it's just a lot different. You either evolve with it or you get out. But I'm right on that, ain't I, Rip?
Well, I'm not. I don't. I don't watch WWE wrestling, and I don't watch
I
AEW
don't
wrestling.
either.
So
I don't
that's
either.
so that's that. And every generation's different. But if you work old style and everybody else is busy getting their shit in for no reason, you stick out.
Right.
And there's different psychologies of wrestling. Like years ago, Larry Zabisco might have to have a 7-minute match with an enhancement guy, and he remember he would stall against the enhancement guy and just stall, and people would get so mad. And the Larry
Yeah.
sucks stamp, and then all of a sudden they'd lock up, and he'd finally hit him 1, 2, 3, boom, and he pinned him. So he put him within 30 seconds after he made contact, but he had to get all that time in the segment. But he would just be backing away from no matter who he was wrestling. And then he would do the same. He would do the same thing, but he got his character over real well.
Yeah, I don't think Rip was saying that he shouldn't have got shit in. I think it was the 20 minutes, right, Rip? It took him 20 minutes instead of like a 5-minute match. He couldn't beat you.
Yeah,
just so long of time.
Right, because he just kept beating me, and I could have sold like a baby face more and completely turned the audience.
Yeah,
because he was such a monster, and I was just a normal sized guy.
We got another question for you. How was it working the program with Debbie Combs? I didn't know you worked.
Well, it wasn't really a program. This guy that I don't even want to mention got really mad at me at his company, so he fired me. But then
come on, mention him, Pondo.
Ian Rotten. Ian Rotten got really mad at me. So, and it wasn't even anything that I had done, but he got mad at me and he fired me. But then I guess the crowd kept saying, "Hey, where's Pondo? Where's Pondo?" So he got this bright idea to bring me in as a girl, like I really wanted to wrestle that bad that I would wrestle as a girl. What he was trying to do was kill me off, but he wasn't going to do it because I rocked it. Like I talked things out with Debbie Combs. We had Candy Devine tied up in the back, and she jumped out like I had attacked her and put her in a closet. So I could wrestle her match. And my name was Rosie Palmer. And I did a bunch of, I mean, of course, this is a different time, but I did a bunch of sexual jokes, and it got over even bigger. But it was just the one match. But every time we saw each other, Debbie's still with us, right?
Yeah, I talked to her probably 4 months ago. I ran into her some way. And we bullshit a lot.
But it wasn't a program. It was just one match, but that match was remembered at that Kmart building for a long, long time.
That's awesome. Rip, tell him your Ian Rotten story. Hell, he might have been there that day. I don't know.
I'll tell the Ian Rotten story.
Oh, you were there?
Yeah, so
it's the same story. I was with Rip in the car. He wouldn't let me come in. I had to sit out in the car when he went in.
So in the beginning, before the Kmart building, there was 3 or 4 WA shows before the Kmart building, and I think Rip worked 2 or 3 of those. And of course, at the end of the night, Rip didn't get paid for 2 or 3 shows.
So, no, he just owed me for 1 show.
There you go. And in the Kmart building, Rip came in the dressing room and told Ian, "You're going to pay me my money right now, or I'm going to give these people something to remember right here in this dressing room." And Ian went out there, got his money, and paid it to Rip. And after Rip left, after he was already gone, Ian was like, disrespectful coming in my locker room, and but he didn't say that to Rip.
Yeah,
is that the same story or no?
He also had like a what you have?
I had the ice pick.
An ice pick. He had something with him.
I had the ice pick, and I said, just give me my money, what you owe me. He did exactly what he was going for a while when I was working with him, and you guys did your wild shit, and I just did traditional shit. But that shows the difference of different styles and stuff. I understood that, but he always paid me. So I come in with the ice pick, and I said, just give me my money, or I'm just going to take it, and I'm gonna flatten all your tires of your fucking ring truck.
Right.
So all of a sudden he took a collection and got my money, and that was it.
Yeah. I was there. I was in that locker room.
Yeah, but you know the deal. You're just like me. You love the business so much, you just want to perform.
That's it. That's exactly right.
And most of the time, money was not the object.
Right.
It was just to you're a young guy. Yeah, this is your goals. This is your dreams. You just want to perform, and you want to have a good time. So, and that's what we did.
That's what we did.
And you knew the ice pick wasn't going to do anything anyway. He probably was going to use one in his match, so you knew it wasn't going to hurt him at all. You were just going to get the ring truck tires.
Well,
Yeah, no, I was just ring. I was gonna because he rented the ring from somebody, right?
I
He
know.
had.
I just shitting you.
Oh, okay, because he would have had for flat tires. It's a whole lot easier just to take a collection from the guys up from the other guys he screwed and just give me my money and I can leave. And okay, I worked for it. And I did it. I told him I'd do it till he fucked me, and I knew he would because he couldn't help himself what he was.
yeah.
But I understood all that.
So I got a question for you. I've got a buddy up here. I live in Indianapolis, Indiana, that I met outside of wrestling. I didn't even know he was in wrestling until I started going back and looking at all his shit, and we sit around and talk. And I think you probably worked him a couple times. You know Nate Webb, Spider?
Yeah, of course I know Nate Webb. We was working together on the Bloody Midgets tour. That's where I met Nate, and he would play guitar all the time, and he would play that Teenage Dirtbag song, and I'm like, Nate, you got that song down pat, and then that became his big deal there for a while. He would play that. Me and Nate still talk to this day, and yeah, we're real good friends still.
Yeah, I just remember I met him one night at a bar, and we started talking wrestling, and
Of course you met him at a bar.
to be honest, I just kind of thought he was kind of full of shit. And then I started talking more and more, and he started name dropping people that, other people wouldn't even really have a clue who they were. And then look, he's got shit online everywhere. Hell, you can find all his stuff online if you just Google it. So
Me and a guy named me and Mitch Page, we was the MMPs, and angle wise, we broke the tag team up, and then I brought Nate in saying that like Nate Webb didn't even have a name for a long time. He was just Pondo's new best friend. That's what he was announced as, Pondo's new best friend. And we got together. We got to know each other even better at IWA Mid South, but we met each other on the BloodyMidgets.com tour.
Wow. Well, I wasn't aware of that tour. I'm not gonna lie.
We pride ourselves. I hope I'm not like busting him out or anything, but we pride ourselves that we've had sex with the two hottest midgets on the planet Earth.
That's great.
Was they male or female?
Well, they were female, Rip.
Okay, wasn't little darling Dagmar, was it, or Diamond Lil?
Mine was the most famous female midget on the planet, I think. Bridget the Midget, the porn star Bridget the Midget.
Oh shit!
Oh wow!
And yeah, we not just once. We was a little sexual thing there for a while, but I can't remember. I think it was MJ. I think it was Mary Jane. I can't remember the one Nate got with, but yeah, we would always talk about how we did that, and I don't know. There was a lot of things. We wrestled each other. We've tagged with each other. Yeah, I love Nate Webb. He's a good dude.
That's cool. I haven't seen him in a minute. I haven't seen him in a little while, but I know he's still around somewhere around here. Speaking of, you're just talking about Bridget the Midget. Maybe she wasn't in the business. Maybe she was. I don't know. But has Pondo ever dated in the business? Was the actual question that we just had.
Oh yeah, that's the thing about wrestlers, man. We don't really have that much time to socialize unless it's after a show, and of course that's not a girl that most of the time you want to take home to visit mom. So yeah, well actually Rip might remember I was married to Lady Vendetta for a while. Sarah Logan, Crazy Mary Dobson, whatever you want to call her. Yeah, there's been a few, but I don't think I've ever met somebody not either in the business or a fan of the business. But yeah, of course I've dated in the business.
Are you married now?
I am not.
Not married. Okay.
Shit, you're eligible. We ought to have flashing letters. Eligible.
Yeah.
Please do. Please do.
Pondo, any riot or fan attack stories? Screaming baboon.
Somebody is really feeding you some shit here. So I went to Chillicothe, Ohio, and there was a group of kids. There was like 6 or 7 of them, and of course they was giving me heat. And I got a microphone, and I told them sit down and shut up, or I would knock their teeth out like crystal meth did. But what I didn't know was they was at that match on good behavior. So when I made a drug joke, I guess they took high offense to it. So here they come rushing the ring, and I had the microphone in my hand, so I was ready to like hit some heads or whatever I had to do. But as they hit the ring, all the baby faces and the security guards just beat these guys to a pulp. So I didn't have to do anything. I didn't touch anybody. But when I got in the dressing room, I hid in between these 2 arcade games to get dressed. The cops showed up and they said, yeah, we need to talk to Mad Man Pondo. And that whole damn dressing room pointed me out where I was. I was like, well,
Oh shit.
but all I had to do was watch the video, and then they saw that I didn't touch anybody. So, but because I was the most popular on that show, of course, that's where the guys went to. Oh, well, Madman Pondo beat us up. I didn't touch nobody. The wrestlers beat him out of the ring, but security is actually who beat him up. But the next day, on the internet, which is always right because it's on the internet, made this big clip bait thing where there was like 8 or 9 bloody kids saying that Madman Pondo started a riot in Chillicothe, Ohio, and that's probably what they're talking about. But yeah, man, you can't go 36 years in this business and not have some kind of interaction with the crowd. Or there's been some riots in the time, but that's the most recent one that I just told you about.
I love the crystal meth line. That's pretty good. I like that.
Yeah.
Pondo, Screaming Baboon. Pondo, you're my hero. I want a midget like that. Pure love.
Well, you want a midget like that until you get a midget like that. Let's just leave it at that. We're still good friends to this day, but maybe there's some kind of mental thing, you know. I mean, maybe we just didn't get along. Let's put it that way.
That's cool. Pot Ripper Jr. says, how did you get your talk show? Did that lead to work with Jerry Springer?
If he's talking, I think he's talking about a thing I did on public access in Louisville, Kentucky. It was called Skull Talk. I had my own show on public access, and what I would do is I would talk to these girls because it was illegal for the FCAA to check your videotape before they put it on TV. So I would talk these girls into getting naked, sit on my lap, and introduce matches. And yeah, it went like 8 or 9 episodes, and it was called Skull Talk. The rules of the PBS was you couldn't advertise, but you could put your email address on there. You couldn't show penis, which I wouldn't want to show penis anyway, and you couldn't have penetration. Well, I just kept pushing the limits as much as I could, and finally on the last one, you say there's no cussing, but can I give you why we got kicked off TV?
Oh, yeah, you can cuss on this show. You can cuss on here.
Oh, well, Rip told me I couldn't cuss. Well, damn.
Shit, it's Rip Rogers' show. You think he could? No, he
Well,
drops more F-bombs on this show than
so we just kept pushing the limit and pushing the limit. And finally, I had a girl using a vibrator on herself and moaning really loud while I was trying to announce the match. And finally I said, "Shut up, bitch." So she stopped doing that. And then I said, "Here's Mad Man Pondo versus the Sandman." And I looked over at her and I go, "Okay, go ahead and continue." And then I watched her for a few seconds and then the match started. But that was the draw right there. There's like, "Hey, we can't have you on no more." But
Wow.
like a month or something after that, the public access called me back and asked me if I could start doing my show again. And I was like, "Well, why would you want me to start again?" They said, "Well, people was buying cable, local cable, just to watch your show." And by then so Skull Talk was one of the best ideas I ever had, but one of the worst ideas I ever had, because what could only take 15 minutes for them to get undressed and me to announce matches was always, "Oh, well, I need to smoke a cigarette. Oh, well, I got to check my makeup. Oh, is one boob looking bigger than the other?" Just typical women, naked women stuff. So I was tired of it by then, so I didn't want to do it no more. But the funny thing about that Skull Talk show was they put it in between two religious shows. And of
Lovely.
course, I had my email address on there. So them religious shows would write me all the time about how I was going to hell and all that stuff for doing that TV show. But it was fun while it lasted, but I was done with it when it was done.
Man, I can't. So you could, it just was on TV. Like if you got local cable, you could just get that show.
PBS, yep.
That's great.
You could say what you wanted and you could do what you wanted as long as you didn't show penis or have penetration.
Do you have any of those episodes? Do you have them on VHS? Do you have any clips? Anything?
I do. I have two VHSs of it, but I don't own a VCR. But I still got those two VHSs of it. Someday and I tried to get that switched over, to DVD or something. But one of the main questions on the application to get that shit switched over is there any nudity on the videotape? So I never did get them switched over. But
I've got a
yeah, I
machine
still,
to switch them. I can get them to digital or CD or thumbnail, whatever. If you're ever in the Indianapolis area, let me know, and I can do them quickly at my house.
I'm not that far from Indianapolis and wrestling there. Not there, but I'm wrestling Brandon Prophet somewhere around there. I'll
Yeah.
send you that. Maybe I can meet you at that match or something.
Yeah, let me know. I took all old rips all his VHS. He's probably has, I don't know, 30, 40, 50. So I bought a little converter so I could put his matches on YouTube.
I have me versus Junkyard Dog somewhere that I would love to get put over onto digital somehow.
Yeah, I can do it. I can do it.
All right, man.
That's pretty cool. So what about Springer? Did you do something with Springer then?
Yeah. So my buddy Ace, he wrestled as Ace Craft. He used to wrestle as the Wicked Jester. He went and did a Jerry Springer episode, and they asked him, they're like, "Hey, do you know any crazy people we could bring on the show?" And he's like, "Yeah, you're a perfect guy." So me, uh, Mitch Page, and Too Tough Tony, and my girl at the time went on the Jerry Springer show and did an episode. And afterwards, they asked me, did I know any crazy people? Well, being in the wrestling business, you only know crazy people. So I kept getting my friends and other wrestlers on there, and they started giving me a check for each guest that I got put on there. So I was making a little living out of them guys, but I was also flying back and forth to Japan at that time. So 4, 5, 6 in the morning, if they needed somebody, they expected you to get somebody, and they wouldn't quit calling you until you did. So I got pretty well tired of it. Plus, I was going to Japan, making a pretty good check out of that. So I finally told Jerry Springer show, to shove it up their ass. And shortly after that, my Japan deal was over, and I wish I hadn't done that. But yeah, I do believe you can consider me a producer for Jerry Springer, because after a while they would bring me in just to hang out with my guests. I wasn't on the episode, but and it was a big deal not to go from green room to green room, but I was allowed to go to green room to green room. So uh, I met uh, Je- so Jerry never did say Pondo. He always said Poncho, but I never corrected him. I mean, it's Jerry Springer. Uh, I knew who he was talking to. He would say, "Hey, Poncho," and I would answer. Steve hated me. Steve hated
Oh, he
my
did?
guts. Yeah, because me, Two Tough Tony, and Mitch Page, I got them together before the episode, and I said, "Look, they're all going to know we're wrestlers. Let's go out there and let's really punch each other in the face." Well, Steve's a real policeman in Chicago.
Yeah.
So when we really started punching each other, he was supposed to arrest us. So for my first episode of Jerry Springer, I didn't get to go out for the Q&A because Steve was so hot at me.
Really?
But yeah, he wasn't really a fan of mine. But Jerry would talk to me going in and out of the hallway and stuff like that. But like I said, it's Jerry Springer. You don't correct your name to Jerry Springer.
Yeah. We had Jamie Dundee on here a while back. He had some good Jerry Springer stories
Oh
too.
yeah, well,
He
I think Jamie was on there 2 or 3 times, wasn't he?
yeah. He was.
Well,
I
I
can't
was on
remember all
there
these
too.
characters. He was. What are you, gay Rip on one of them or something? I can't remember what all he
Yeah,
was.
he changed personalities, put it that way.
Yeah.
He does, yeah.
Screaming Baboon says, any stories of Tracy Smothers?
Man, what wrestler in the back in the day doesn't have a story about Tracy Smothers? The most respectful thing that I knew that Tracy would do he would sit at that curtain and he would watch other guys' matches, and then when they came back to that curtain would not ridicule them, not say, "Hey, that was the shits," but just give them helpful information on how to make themselves better. Uh, Tracy was one of those guys, man, that I don't know why didn't go farther than what is Freddie Joe? Why would they do that? They had a Tracy Smothers. Why would they want to change his name? He did have success at WCW with the Armstrong as the Wild Eyed Southern Boys, but to me, just the knowledge that Tracy Smothers gave me and so many others, I always wish that Tracy Smothers got a better deal. And then when he went to ECW, he was one of the FBI's. I'm sorry, FBI's, and I don't know. I just always thought Tracy Smothers needed to get a better position in wrestling, or one of them agent jobs at WWE. I mean, that's the way I felt about Tracy Smothers. That uh, he was just a class act everywhere, always, and he was always had a smile on his face, always loved to laugh. But man, if you crossed him the wrong way, was one of them guys that would let you know that you messed up.
Yeah. Rip, you got any Tracy Smothers stories?
Uh, Tracy used to, when he would act like he was mad,
Yeah,
and then I thought he was really mad. He was so good. He was just he was just an asshole to everybody.
right.
And then he talked to me or whatever, and I wouldn't talk to him because I said, "Well, fuck, if you're in a bad mood, I ain't gonna fuck with you.
That's
Leave
right.
me alone." He got me.
People used to think the same thing about you, Rip.
Yeah,
Well,
that is true. They say the same thing about Rip Rogers.
100%.
well, I guess if we all love the business, we all get suckered in because we're the biggest. We're the
And
biggest
ask
marketer.
Pondo if Rob Conway still has his Subway sandwich.
It's Rob Conway. So I don't even know what that's a reference to. Me and Rob Conway and a bunch of us Rob Conway was working for the Juggalos there for a while for Slam TV, and we spent a lot of time together going back and forth from Louisville to Detroit.
I've got the
And
story. I texted him and asked him the story.
okay, tell me the story. Maybe it'll refresh my
So
memory.
he just said that apparently you. I don't know if Nick was with you guys or not, but it definitely was you and Rob, of course. Said that you stopped somewhere, told Rob that you were going to go to the bathroom, and apparently you told Rob to get you a sandwich at Subway. Rob
Oh,
apparently didn't hear what you said or whatever. Got himself a sandwich, but not you. You guys got back on the road and drove about 10 minutes and said, Pondo says, okay, ribs over. Where's my sandwich?
no, I didn't say ribs over. I do remember it now. I was like, Rob, are you going to hand me my sandwich? And he was like, what sandwich? I'm like, I asked you to get me a sandwich. I mean, I had the money in my wallet, but I really had to go to the bathroom. And when Slam TV was over, it was be 2, 3, 4 in the morning before we get home. So went to the bathroom, got back in the van, had my money in my hand for the sandwich. Yeah, Rob didn't get me a
He
sandwich.
said you
Yeah,
drove
you
back 10 miles to get the sandwich. He said by this time, he said you were in Big Bone Lick, Kentucky, is what Nick said.
yeah, Big Bone Lick, Kentucky.
No sandwich.
You're talking about Eugene, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think he did a couple of those shows, right? The
Yeah.
Juggalo.
Yeah, he would have been on. Well, I know of at least one that he was on because me and Two Tough Tony got into it in the van, and Rob was the big instigator of the fight. But not that he had anything to do with the fight, but yeah, I do remember he was on one of them at least.
That's awesome. Rip, you got any questions?
No, I got to get out of camera thing. I gotta piss in the cup before I pee my pants.
Well, don't get your dick on camera here on YouTube Live.
I'm not. It's underneath here now.
My God.
I've been wiggling for. I'm thinking about when Pondo, when you had them little midget wrestlers, the females. What was so great when they go down there and grab your worm, and they had them little bitty fingers. It made you think like you had the world's thickest organ, and it really put you over.
It's funny you saying that because the first time that I had sex with Brother the Midget,
mm-hmm.
4 or 5 strokes in, I stopped and I'm just looking at her, and she's like, "What? What are you looking at?" And I'm like, "You know, you being a porn star, I didn't expect you to be as tight as this."
Uh-huh.
And she said, "Well, I do these things," and she started squeezing it while it was inside, and I said,
Shit.
"Oh my God, why are you a porn star? You need to teach girls how to do that all across America." And yeah, but it was like having sex in between 2 big pork chops. You know, I mean, it was all good.
2 pork chops. I'll have to think about that.
Well, look at the shape of the pork chop and look at the shape of some midget's legs, and you'll get the reference.
Okay. I mean, where else do you get the star of the show taking a piss during the show and the guest talking about having sex with a midget all at the same time? I mean, what other YouTube show? Maybe you would see that on Skull Talk, but probably nowhere else.
Oh, this is the greatest show we did today. Is in keeping informed, you know.
Yeah.
Somebody wants to know how it was.
Much because Rip told me not to cuss, and so far he said the F and the B and all that. So
why would you tell him not to cuss, Rip?
Well, how many times do I put us on double secret probation because I'm cussing?
We've never had one strike against us. You said fuck 90 times in 60 seconds once.
Oh, I can't even.
I counted them. Yeah, I counted them.
I think that's
now you don't cuss nearly as much as you did when we started this show 3.5 years ago, but we don't ever say you can't cuss. There's only like 5 words that you can't say. But
now we try not to cuss the first 90 seconds or a minute or something like that.
30 seconds, but you can cuss on this show.
No.
We have for 3.5 years. Why would you tell Mad Man Pondo of all people after 3.5 years that we can't cuss?
Well, I was trying not to get us banned from the airwaves or whatever you call it.
I don't know.
Fuck it. Let's go on.
There you go. Somebody want to know about the ECW arena. How was it there? Cage of Death 3 versus Z-Bar.
Z-Bar, rest his soul. I had a really good time wrestling him. Of course, being in the ECW arena was always something to me because you see that on TV and you think that thing is huge, but it's really not. It's not all that big of a room, but so many. I always tell up and coming wrestlers, if you can go to Philadelphia and wrestle and get over, then you can make it anywhere because they have seen it all there. You know, with ECW doing all the stuff they did, and yeah, I there's two buildings that I pride myself that I've been to, and that's the ECW Arena and Korakuen Hall in Tokyo.
Oh wow, yeah. Now, do you have to get stitches after most of your matches, or you got it down to a science where you don't?
I have got stitches, but unless it's just gaped open like a huge vagina, I would rather just put tape on it, save time and money. But I try to stay out of that hospital as much as I can.
Oh, nice. All right. Now I know Rip hates the questions where it says when somebody asks you your favorite, like of all time. So if you don't have a favorite match, Shane Parks, $2 super chat wants to know your any. Well, he did say any favorite match you had. So a couple maybe that come to mind. Favorite matches, favorite opponents, one or the other.
So my favorite match of all time, out of all 36 years, was getting to wrestle Terry Funk for JCW and winning the Juggalo Championship title off of him, and just every deathmatch worker's dream would be to wrestle Terry Funk, and I got to do that. Me and Necro took on Nozawa and the Great Muda. That was a big one for me. I mentioned before that I got to wrestle the Junkyard Dog. I'll tell you that story. I don't know if Rip remembers this or not. You remember in Vincennes, Indiana, there was a partition, like a small cardboard partition that you could put back and forth to separate the room. It was at the National
was the Armory, right?
the National Guard Armory in Vincennes, and I was set to wrestle Junkyard Dog. We was main event that night, and he came in he was late. He came in 3 or 4 matches into the show. This was before cell phones because nobody knew if he was going to make it or not.
Right.
He showed up in his gear wanting to wrestle right then so he could get paid and leave. What I didn't know was at this time he had a bad demons problem. I don't even know what the drug of choice was, but he wanted to wrestle right then and leave. And Howard's arguing with him about how, well, no, we got you guys main event, and it's just pissing Junkyard Dog off. And I say, Howard, let us go ahead and go on. And Junkyard Dog looked over. He said, "Is this who I'm wrestling?" And Howard said, "Yeah." And more or less, Junkyard Dog told me to lace up my boots because I'm getting ready to learn a lesson. And I'm like, holy shit, man. Like, this was my first WWF name that I was going to wrestle, and I was really excited to do it. And now all of a sudden he's so pissed off. But now I realize why he was pissed off. But I'm a thinker, and I want to have a good match with this man. And I remembered on Saturday night's main event, Junkyard Dog did a speech about mothers because it was on Mother's Day, and he was talking about how man wouldn't be on earth without their mothers. Take care of your mothers. So I had Junkyard Dog come to the very back room, and I had my mom come in which my mom had never been in a locker room. She was really confused why I was asking her to come in there. I had my mom come in the dressing room, take a picture of me and Junkyard Dog, and then my mom and Junkyard Dog started talking to each other, and Junkyard Dog said, "Is this your boy?" And she said, "Yeah." And he goes, "I'm going to take good care of him." And then Howard came to me later that night and said, "I don't know what's going on, but Junkyard Dog says he doesn't want to pin you now, so we're going to send Outlaw Don Bass out there to disqualify." So people think I'm stupid, but sometimes my brain works pretty good.
That's
Wow.
good. Every once in a while, you know. Don't kill your.
That's awesome. So when you wrestle somebody like Terry Funk, does your mindset change? Like, oh, I better not hurt this guy or anything different, or does he just say bring it on and everything's the same?
Yeah. So it was Terry Funk's idea to go out into the crowd and fight, and he said, "Pondo, while we're out there," I won't do Terry's voice. He's like,
Yeah.
"Was that pretty good, Rip? Was that it?"
That was good.
"Pondo, while we're out there,
Oh
make
gosh.
sure
Yes.
make sure we punch each other real good. That way the kids know that we're out there and we really mean business." And I was like, "All right, if that's what you want to do, okay." So he threw me over the guardrail and he punched me in the eye so hard, like purple spots, right? Punched me fucking hard where I was dazed just for a second. And then I was like, "Oh yeah, I was supposed to punch him too." And I turned around to punch him and he's going over the guardrail getting into the ring. So he got me. He got me.
That's awesome. $2 super chat for Pod Ripper Jr. Herb Adams or Abrams, sorry. I can't even talk. UWF stories.
Yes. Well, I told you about Bruno Sammartino and Captain Lou Albano buying me and Howard's breakfast, but we're getting ready to go do a TV spot with Captain Lou Albano and the Super Ninja and this guy, Mr. Red. And as we're leaving our hotel, Herb Abrams walks out of his hotel. And he just has it caked around both nostrils, right? And I said, and Howard's not telling him. Howard's talking to him. I can see Herb Abrams' face just as clear as what Howard Brackney is, but Howard's not saying, "Hey, you got Coke on your nose," and we're headed to the elevator to leave. And this was back in the day when Coke was like really, really illegal. I mean, it's illegal now, but a lot of people shrug it off how illegal it is. But back then, this shit was illegal as hell. So we're getting ready to get in the elevator to go downstairs, and finally I said, "Mr. Abrams, you got stuff on your nose." He took his thumb and this finger, wiped it off, sucked it back up in his nose, and said, "How about now?" I'm like, "No, you're good. You're good now." But he was good to me. I mean, Steve the Wild Thing Ray, I was down by the pool, and he was talking about how wrestlers came in early, and Herb didn't even ask him. So Steve the Wild Thing Ray, that day at least, was really against Herb Abrams. But if you watch Dark Side of the Ring, he more or less loved Herb Abrams the whole time. But I was only on that one UWF show, but yeah, I'll never forget that he came out of his room and around his nose was just caked. I don't even know how you don't feel that.
Now, Steve Ray, is this the one that's from Kansas City and Sonny Myers trained him?
I'm not sure. I think he was a Florida boy. He was Wild Thing Steve Ray, but he was like the character that Herb created, I believe, at UWF. He was tan and long blonde hair. I think he was
sort of big, right?
I'm sorry.
He was sort of big.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, he was muscled out, not
No,
muscled out.
that was the guy that Sonny Myers trained. That had the bleach blonde hair. He was just Steve Ray when he started
Oh,
in
okay.
Kansas City. Yeah, that was him. That's what I was wondering when if that was the same guy. Yeah,
It sounds like the same guy. Yeah.
yeah.
All right, we got one more here for you. Did you work with Mr. Pogo, and what's Japan like?
Yes. I pride myself when I started doing all this deathmatch stuff. Of course, that was the tape trading days, and I had a compilation tape of Mr. Pogo versus Masanaga Mr. Danger, and I watched and analyzed that videotape so much that I wore the videotape out that I had to buy another one of lesser quality off of RF video. And so when I got to Japan, I anytime Mr. Pogo was at a show that I had a day off of, I would go. And finally, people would start telling him that I was out there in the crowd. So he brought me in the back, and I was just amazed that this guy wanted to meet me. I wanted to meet him, and he kept telling me to leave Big Japan and come work for him. But he wasn't doing the business that Big Japan was. And of course, I was a fan of Mr. Pogo, and I appreciate him inviting me over there. But at that time, it was the right choice to stay at Big Japan. But I pride myself today that being on first name basis with the two guys that I was learning to be such a fool doing all this deathmatch stuff today. Rest in peace, Mr. Pogo. And Japan, uh, people ask me all the time, what's Japan like? And this is the best answer that I can give them. You can walk into McDonald's, and as soon as you walk in the door, they're saying, Ishi Mushi, and they're calling you over, which means, please let me wait on you. You get to the counter, they're smiling, they take your order, they run to go get it, they run it back. And when you sit down and you open your wrapper, your sandwich looks like the picture that's advertised. Try that in America. You're not going to get that. Um, there is there's no trash cans on the street of Japan, but there's also no trash.
Right.
But there is a million cigarette butts all over the streets. And if that's what he's talking about, what's Japan like? That's what I'm going to tell you. I mean, it's just a different lifestyle over there than we got over here. I think Rip might agree with that. I'm not sure.
Well, it's like Pogo. He'd take those 1 hour showers. So as a rib, one night I left and came back, and like he was, oh my God, I lost my ride, right? And he was still in the shower. And I said, I come back to rib you. I left 20 minutes later, come back thinking he's all ready to go, and he's worried because he lost his ride. And he was still in the shower, soaping him, stroking or soaping up that little bitty dick with the big nuts.
Yeah.
He didn't even know it. He didn't put it over at all.
That's awesome.
I'm not sure why those showers were always long, but they was always long. I remember Tarzan Godo. He was riding with Tarzan Godo one time. Tarzan Godo had time to shower, put on a suit, take his bags to the car, and Mr. Pogo was still in the shower.
Well, he just takes an hour shower all the time. That's his big gimmick, was taking the shower.
That's crazy.
Yeah, Has the Machine just said in the chat, sounds like Mike Sharp. You told the same story ish about Mike Sharp once, Rip.
Yeah, Mike was always in there. Same shit.
Oh, we got Honky Tonk Man in the chat.
Hey,
HTM using the staple gun on Pondo in West Virginia, stapling money from fans on Pondo's head.
he so didn't want to do it, and I told him, I said, Honky, if you staple one, they're going to hand us a bunch. And somebody handed us a 20 or a 50. I can't remember what it was. And of course, he was happy to do that. So he stapled that to me, and we made sure that we took that off and put it in one of our pockets because we were sharing everything that was stapled to me after that. And the crowd, whatever fan it was, came back there and said, "Hey, can I?" They sent somebody back to get that. It was either a 20 or a 50. I can't remember what it was. And Honky said, "Oh, well, that fell off of Pondo's head. It went down there in the floor. So we got to keep that one. I'm not sure what it was though. He'll probably be able to tell you if it was a 20 or a 50. And yeah, everybody was like, "You're not going to get Honky Tonk to do that stuff that you want him to do," but he didn't have no problem with it, and I knew that because he was a blonde bomber and the concession stand match and all that. He knew that doing this stuff because he even said, they're going to see wrestling all night. Let's do some of that crazy stuff.
That's awesome.
Thank you, Honky Man. I love the Honky Tonk Man.
I mean, again, you get Rip Piston on the show, Midget Talk, and now you get HTM making a run in the comments. Where else are you gonna get that?
Yeah, well, Honky knows what's going on. He'd be threatening to take that bump, and he'd finally take that one bump, and the crowd would go fucking crazy. But he'd wibble wobble this and that, Furby Derbage and all the shit. But Honky's over. He knows it. What the hell? He's still got the same everything from how many years ago, and he's still over. So that's all.
Yeah, look at the picture. It looks like he hadn't changed a bit.
That's it. And never will change. I don't want him to change. I want him to stay just the way he is. That's the way I like it.
You're the man, Honky. Thanks for stopping in today.
Hasn't aged at all.
All right, we got one more. They're not letting us get off here today. Putt Ripper Jr., $2. Rip Pondo, did you ever get any residuals from ESPN?
No.
For what?
I don't know. I know you're GWF for. I don't know what for. I really don't know why. But you were on ESPN with what? The Global Rip? I don't know.
Yeah, they played every day.
But that only played like while you were doing it though, right? They didn't play it like they don't play it now.
Yeah, that's old shit. Their big thing is they usually do stuff that's current.
Unless he's talking about the new ESPN WWE deal, which I don't know why you would probably get.
No, I didn't have nothing to do with either of those. So no, I never got anything.
Yeah.
No, if there's some way I wasn't going to get any money, that's what would happen to me.
If there's a way not to get money, that would be you, huh?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
All right. Well, I think we're about to wrap this thing up, man. Thanks so much for coming on here today. You got anything else?
I got two more things. I got one more thing, if that's cool. So
yeah, and then plug anything. You got to plug too if you want to plug anything.
So I wrote my own book. It's called Memoirs of a Man. John Cosper. I think Rip knows John Cosper. Yeah. But we sat down and we wrote a book, and it's, I think, 248 pages long of pictures and stories of me, not just wrestling, all types of stories. And you can get that at Amazon.com, or you can go to EatSleepWrestle.com and ask John Cosper for an autograph copy. And in September, I wrote the second book. I was in Japan 9 months and had a bunch of downtime, so I went ahead and wrote the second book, which will be out in September, and I'm sure that you'll be able to get that on the same two platforms. That's Amazon.com or EatSleepWrestle.com, and you can get an autograph copy through John Cosper that way. And I'm done. Thank you.
Awesome. Yeah. So when this comes out on the live on YouTube, I'll go find those on Amazon and that EatSleepWrestle.com. I'll pin it in the comments so people can see in the comments where those are at.
And I want to apologize. I was looking at both of Rip's Facebook and number, waiting on that. That was all my fault.
That's no big deal.
Looked for a different telephone number, but then when Rip was like, "Well, it was sent to you, you dumbass."
Freezing on my end.
Freezing. Yeah.
Oh, you froze. You froze on my end. As soon as you said dumbass, you froze there, but that's all right. Now I don't know if you're going to be able to hear it or not. Rip can't hear it anymore, but we always play some music at the end. It's by Starcade. They're like a wrestling rap, mid-40s, white guy people. Awesome. I'm in one of their videos actually. So we always go out of this show with the Starcade. Look them up. They're awesome. Oh, I got to give a shout out to all our super chats first. I'm sorry. Poe Tripper Jr., Screaming Baboon, Big George, Shane Parks, Pot Ripper Jr. again, Screaming Baboon again, Big George, PT Jr. is all over the board today. Screaming Baboon, Shane Parks, Billy Ray Dollar. I don't even know if I put that up there, but he just threw us out at $9.99. Didn't even have a question, just threw it out there. So thanks to everybody that participated today. Don't forget, next Friday, I don't think we're going to be on the show. Possibly Thursday, but probably not. I'm out of here. So I don't know. Can you hear it right now? Mad Man Pondo. You can hear it? All right.
Yeah.
Cool intro, outro. Thanks
Yeah.
for coming on today. Really appreciate it.
Don't rib me. It's not fun.
Rip can't hear it.
No, it's not fun.
Everybody have a good weekend, holiday weekend.
Oh.